Port of Centralia, March 4th meeting to order. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice and liberty. Introduction. Commissioner Pierre-Lamont. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda of March 4th.
Move to approve.
Oh, that's fine.
Move to approve as presented.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda of the regular meeting on March 4th. All in favor, say aye.
Only discussion is that this
It's, yeah, now we are going to entertain a motion to go into executive session for 30 minutes to discuss potential litigation pursuant to RCW 42.30.110, subparagraph 1, II.
audio.
Okay, let's try that. I switched it to the microphone.
We want to wait for a second and see if it's working. Okay, well, let's try it again. We are going, the update of the agenda, we're going to have an executive session for 30 minutes. So I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss potential litigations pursuant to RCW 42.30.110, subparagraph 1, section II.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 3-0. And so we will come back at 3:32. And you got,
No decisions.
yeah, with no decisions expected. And you guys can stay in here. What we'll do is we'll go in the back room so you guys don't have to. So be right back. All right, let's call the meeting back to order at 3:31. And we just finished an executive session and we have no decisions to bring forward from that. I'd like to move to good of the order and public comment. We're fetching the list right now.
Nobody has signed up.
Please sign up. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment? I don't think we have it set up so we can do online. So move to approval of the minutes of February 18th, 2026.
Move to approve the minutes of February 18th.
Second. All right, is there any discussion?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I have corrections.
Okay.
So, page 2, page 10, item 10, it states that other port, like that the reason for the map was to show other port properties in part 1 that the development regulations would affect, and that is not accurate. It was not to show the affected properties, it was to highlight all of the land LPC it has in the purchase and sale agreement with us. It wasn't, we have other properties, and you know, it also caused some misreporting at local paper. But the correction is that it was solely focused on the purchase and sale agreement that we have with LPC that matched the financial report. What we stand to gain or lose if this moratorium goes through, because. Yeah.
Okay, any other further discussion?
Well, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Do we need a motion to amend the minutes? We have a motion and a second already, so do we need to call a vote on the first one before?
And
Or how does that? I think that's
Right.
good to do, but
Yeah, I think we should just go with a motion to, if, first to approve the amendment, and then we would have a motion to approve the amended minutes.
well, yeah, like the problem is we already have a motion and a second on the
Yeah.
table, so I think you have to call a vote
For the motion on the table.
for the motion on the
Okay.
table.
Okay,
And then
we'll do
I
that.
mean,
No, that's.
I'll
that's
vote
fine.
nay, and then we can have a
Okay.
motion to amend
Okay,
if there's another nay.
okay, seeing no further discussion, there's a motion on the table to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Nay, okay. Now, I'd entertain another motion on the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of the February 18, 2026 Board Commissioner meeting as amended.
I'll second. Any discussion? Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as amended, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Now, let's see, we have. You give us an update on the warrants? Or-
Yeah, you have warrants 24827 through 24849 in the amount of $118,443.10.
I will make a motion to approve warrants 24827 through 24849 in the aggregate amount of $118,443.10.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the warrants?
Yes, I just wanted to highlight that there is a warrant here, $4,000 for Lewis Consulting, which is our professional lobbyist. This is the final payment that we will be doing because Amy has been working very hard to tighten our budget, cinch our belt, and help us stay in line. And so this is one of the services that she has ended the contract with currently. So, just good job, Amy, saving us money.
Okay, anything else? So all in favor of approving warrants 24827 through 24849 for $118,443.10?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. New business.
I have before you resolution 2026-04 to void warrant 24748. This warrant was issued to Lewis County Public Health for $130. It's for our mobile home park, and it was lost in the mail. And so this is just voiding that warrant. We ended up paying that fee online to avoid any further delay.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-04, resolution of the Commission of the Port of Centralia, Lewis County to void warrant 24748.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. 3-0. Thank you. Did you want to report on the right of way?
I have, the next item I have for you is the City of Centralia right-of-way dedication. This is for a 5-foot, road right-of-way along the south parcels for our west side BLA. This is a requirement in order to be able to record our west BLA and start moving forward with those projects down there. And I will ask for your approval.
Second, I'm
I would
not.
ask for your approval and authorize the executive director to sign any necessary documents.
It's a resolution. If they have that. Oh, well,
I will be my, you should put it out there.
I'll trust you guys.
Just give you my copy.
I'll make a motion to approve the City of Centralia right-of-way dedication and authorize the executive director to sign any necessary documents.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve the right-of-way dedication to the building, or to the city of Centralia. Any further discussion on this matter?
Yes, I just want to say good job. Been a lot of work and extra little bits coming together, but I know this is just one of the beyond. The city done a great job restoring our relationship and working with them and getting all of these old things buttoned up so we can move forward at Centralia Station. So great job.
No, thank you, good Lord. All right, all in favor of the right-of-way dedication motion, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Ayes have it, 3-0, thank you.
The next item I have for you is the fifth addendum to the lease agreement with Zev Technologies for 3507 North Park Drive. This addendum extends their lease for another 3 years. It adds some additional insurance requirements that the court wanted. It allows for some tenant improvements within inside the building, and it increases the monthly rent from 6,400 to 11,000 monthly. And I would recommend your approval.
I will make a motion to approve the fifth addendum to the lease with Zev Technologies at 3507 North Park Drive.
Okay,
It's been moved and seconded to approve the fifth addendum to the lease with Zev Technologies at 3507 North Park Drive. Any further discussion on this?
Thank you, Amy, for shoring up another lease.
Yeah, no, I would like to thank staff. Great job. Thank you. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 3-0. Executive Director report.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna discuss that. Oh, executive director report. In regards to Zev Technologies, they leave 2 buildings from the court, one at 3507 North Park Drive and one at 2120 North Park Drive. They provided notice that they will be vacating the 2120 North Park Drive, their other facilities to Utah. And they just need a temporary extension for 3 months to allow to have everything at the building. And I had signed a amendment for that for only 3 months. And later in June, around the time it expires, we'll start listing that building and looking for new tenants for that building. So be aware of that. Mountain Drive Train, another tenant of the port that we have a lease agreement with for 1708 Midway Port, has exercised their option to renew through March 31st of 2028. All terms will stay the same, but excited to hear that they're staying. Commissioner Lamont and I attended mediation with Lewis County and the city of Centralia last week. The meeting was for an hour, and all parties kind of discussed some of the concerns that they have regarding development. There will be another meeting this month, which is going to be longer, so hopefully we'll get more into the weeds. But this first meeting was pretty preliminary, but I'll let you know. It has been set, be having that meeting. I included in your packets as well a letter that the court received from Ross Nielsen, the Lewis County assessor, regarding a value adjustment on a large piece of property within our district. And
I can hear specifics and stuff.
yeah, I reached out to him and asked him who's the property belonged to, and he sent me a spreadsheet that it was belonging to Sierra Pacific, which is a port tenant in Part 2. And their original assessment provided by them was 105 million, and they've revised that value down to roughly 56 million for a value change of 49 million. That ends up reducing the amount of taxes that, they collect for the port and all the other districts within there. So there's the fire district, the school district, the county roads. And that spreadsheet shows how much of that levy will be taken. So when we levy our tax at the beginning of the year, we say a certain amount. And they will take this out of what has been collected to return to Sierra Pacific. And the port has the option during budget time to possibly get a refund levy if the commissioners so choose and collect that in the following year. But the court's reduction is 14,500.
Do you know, just off the top of your head, how many other businesses that we have in the port that were affected by this? Has anybody else contested it?
Several last year, when you approved that refund administrative levy, I'm remembering this off the top of my head, I think it's around 75,000. That was, and so it's quite a few, but I'm not sure how many are still in the works. I think they go through a process. Yeah.
Just some background on this. These refunds are originated by property owners who contest their assessed value with the assessor. I reported to the Port Commission in a commissioner report. It's been probably at least over a year ago. Former Executive Director Kyle Heaton and myself had a meeting with the assessor, Russ Nelson, because we had some concerns with what we were hearing in regards to commercial tax assessments. At that time, we met with him and they shared with us that the Lewis County Assessor's Office was utilizing a Washington state agency. I don't know if it was through the state auditor or which agency it was, but they were utilizing a service through the state of Washington to do those commercial assessments for them, and that their method of assessment included taking into account a business's gross revenue in the assessment of the property. We shared our concerns with that, as that would appear to be a income tax, not a property tax, and that we conferred with the port's brokers on how they look at land and values and things. And while a proximity or a location on a property can drive revenue, the revenue of an existing business doesn't necessarily drive the value of a property. And so it was very problematic when we heard how that was being done. And we shared our concerns with the assessor at that time, that we were concerned that this was going to lead to massive refunds on industrial properties. And here we are over a year later seeing that. And so it's really concerning. There's additional large properties all throughout Lewis County that haven't yet contested their property taxes that may very well, and that impacts ports. It impacts mostly schools. I mean, our schools are going to be rocked by some of these large refunds, and they have the option to run a refund levy the next year, but then all of us residential homeowners here in this community get to pay that share then, right? So it's really kind of an unfortunate situation, and I wish that our concerns had been heeded at the time, and a change of course could have been made, but this is where we sit today.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is an issue that's widespread across the county. And so what this looks like for the port, I mean, we have a lot more dynamic budget. We don't have long contracts, but it's still, I mean, it hurts. We were having a $14,000 reduction in our revenue. And like you said, to the school district, I mean, their biggest expense is staff, and they have a contract that goes through the school year, and they're being told mid-year, hey, you're gonna owe, you're not getting this money, and so yeah, I am really.
Theirs is in the hundreds of thousands.
And they're being told you either have to pay this money, depending on when it's done, you have to repay this money, or you're just not going to be able to depend on this money coming in. So this is a huge challenge. I assume that other taxing districts are going to go for refund levies, or it will definitely be a discussion there. For us, I would be very hesitant come budget season to do a refund levy. You know how I feel about taxes, but we're going to play it by ear and see. We have to really monitor how many other refund levies or how many other refunds are going to be given, and what those dollar amount reductions are. But this is going to affect all of the taxing districts, and I would love the citizen support in communicating with the county's trouble that they are, the waves that are being made by this.
Specifically the assessor's office. I mean, this is a matter that lies directly on that elected position.
Yeah.
Well, one big one that, was talked about a lot in the newspapers along with Sierra Pacific was Dairy Gold, and that doesn't affect the port directly, but same situation. So just so people are aware, those big industrial refunds you're seeing is because those settlements are being made because of that assessing methodology.
And we don't have any say, we don't have any control. There's
Yeah.
nothing we can do but move forward. And
I've also included in your packet, a letter from the Ports Legal Counsel to file mainly the city attorney withdrawing the Ports appeal for amendments to the city code as decided at the last board meetings. That's just an FYI that has been concluded. I've also included a fifth amendment to the purchase and sale agreement with MW1W1 that I approved last week. We're still working on feasibility extension, and because of timing, it was due Friday. We just signed a 1 week amendment. So we're working on that, and hopefully we'll have that accomplished and done by Friday. And we received an email from the Centralia Downtown Association for their annual flower basket program. The port has donated in the past for this cause, and I was going to leave it up to the commissioners if that's something you wanted to do again this year.
Personally, I feel like, we just received notice from the auditor's office that we're going to have a $14,000 reduction. We're working hard to try to pinch pennies and make sure that we can weather the expenses that we've recently taken on. So I would propose that we don't make a donation this year and hold off and see where we are next year.
I think,
Yeah, I feel the same.
yeah. Okay,
And the last thing I have for you is I have scheduled a public hearing for our next port meeting, March 18th at 3 p.m. Regarding the advisability of sale of a 1 acre parcel we have off North Park Drive, and just making sure you guys are all aware that that's going to be in the papers. We're going to be posted in 3 public places.
could you give us an update on where we are on the director search? How is it being advertised, and
Sure.
just something quick?
We advertise it according to, to our workshop of where you want it. So we posted it in LinkedIn. We posted it on Indeed, the Port of Centralia website, the Washington Public Ports Association, and also the Oregon Public Ports Association. We have some applicants that aren't really reading the rules through Indeed, and we're just kind of ignoring them because I think they have the possible, they can just enter, apply, and it's not really reading the full application and providing all the documentation that you've requested. But we have received quite a few applicants, and we're copying those and putting those in a file for you. And on March 25th, when it closes, that next day, Aaron and I will get all that together, and we'll get that sent to you so that you have plenty of time to review them all before our next meeting.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Great.
Anything else? The commissioner reports.
Yeah, so, I wanted to present in something that Amy's been working through public record requests. And, our Port Legal Counsel has the determination that we are not required to submit phone logs, that they're not a official public record. There are other municipalities that do provide phone logs, the city, the county, et cetera. And I wanted to bring to the commission to just talk about, is this something like, we have this, but are we willing to step up, and raise the bar for ourselves to say that we'd be willing to submit phone call logs just to show good faith to the citizens, match what other government entities are doing, and kind of just put that issue to bed, because it does cause some pushback each time someone requests that and we don't provide it, where, and then the city does. So what do you guys think? Would you be interested in just setting a new precedent?
To be clear, you're talking about our personal phone devices?
Yes, just phone logs that, now, again, like, they still have to follow all of the, it has to be related to port business and, all of the other standards of what the limitations would be, just,
There's no way, how do you discern on a phone log which phone calls were port business and not? Like, there's no other record retained with making a phone call that would So essentially what it would be is us giving our personal phone logs over in their entirety. And I'm
No,
not
you would be
comfortable with
able
that.
to, you'd be able to redact, right? And
But I mean, how do you go back I mean, I have personal conversations with people or port conversation. I mean, it could be the same people, and how do you discern which one was which and keep a log of that? I mean, to me, that's just, I mean, this is a fishing expedition of one particular person and all full disclosure, this is a public records request in relation to my personal phone log that this person is trying to obtain.
well, it was all of it,
Okay.
but you feel like it was targeted to you, that's fair.
It is, but that's fine. I don't have anything to hide. But certainly, I don't think our personal phone logs need to be a public record. So, if we want to entertain having port cell phones, I think that's another conversation. That's another expense. We're talking, a couple $1,000s a year for the three of us to probably have cell phones. But as far as turning over our personal phone logs for somebody's fishing expedition, I don't think that's necessary.
Having been subject to this a couple times in the past few years, for the port, I'm a fan of having port cell phones for us. I know it's an expense, and that's why I was happy to do it until I got hooked. I mean, the things I've read on different legal precedents about it, I just as soon take it off the table. If I'm doing port business, I do it on a port cell phone. If for some of the reasons that Commissioner Bartram said, I have people that I talk to them about port. I have people that I talk to, it's the same people, and we talk, personal deal.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying I want to make a motion today to do that, but I think we should think about having port business cell phones. I have a port cell phone, or I have a work cell phone for work, and for that same reason, the state feels like they need to have a different, you have to have a different phone line if you're doing work. So,
The same standard, I work for the government, I think we all, I don't know if you actually work for the government, but we work for the government, so we're aware of this in our day job as well. When I started campaigning, I purchased a cell phone line just for campaigning, because I'm putting my phone number out to the entire community, and I knew that once that was out and we, pivot to actually, if I had been elected, getting my personal number back so that it's not just anyone and everyone contacting me through my personal phone when I, nights, weekends, whatever. And it would be difficult to shift. So I value having a separate phone because I just did it and have it as a personal expense to do so. I'm not suggesting that you need to do the same, but I agree that having a separate phone is a good alternative. Would you be interested in just having Amy do some research about what that cost would be? Of a couple different phone options of what it would cost to get us
yeah,
port
no,
phones?
I'm fine.
As long as it's the cheapest Android phone available, because I won't use an Apple device.
Fair. And then I think just in my own experience, a lot of people say that Mint Mobile is the cheapest. And yet we don't need fancy, just text and phone call.
Text and phone.
Text and phone, maybe our email if we're feeling fancy, so we can email on the fly. But I think it'd be worth researching at this point. I agree with you, Markstrom, it's very difficult. I have electeds that I'm personal friends with, and it can be a challenge to know, like, was this, a port phone call or not? But I just think, given the climate of where we are and the nature of public records in our community, it's a snowballing, I don't want to say problem, but it is an ever-growing impact. It's impacting Amy's work, and her, she's got a lot of other things that she has to be doing, and we're digging through files, and so it might be a worthwhile expense too. So yeah, if you might have somebody, sure,
Look into that.
see how much it would cost for just some cheap phones. Yeah, or I don't even know if we could do prepaid. figure out what that might be. And then, so then I also, attended the Economic Alliance meeting. They gave a brief update about what's happening out at TransAlta. It's, there's lots of great growth and, job opportunities that are gonna be happening out there, so that was a really good meeting. And then I did attend, Centralia City Council meeting, and, they talked about well, before the main city council meeting, they had an annexation workshop. And so they had a map there for the citizens. I seem to like maps. They had a map there that they were talking about. Basically, they brought annexation back to the table. Nothing's in motion. It was just the city staff presenting to the new council kind of just an overview. What is annexation? What does it look like of expanding the city? And they talked about phases for annexation, and port properties, would be, would be for phase 2. So I'll share this with you both. The purple pink area there is showing what would be potential of our properties being annexed in a phase 2. There's no date set, there's no action happening. It's just, this is the beginning stage of what they're talking about of doing phases. I know annexation is very expensive for the city, so it might not be something that they can afford to do at all. But if they did, they're talking about rolling it out in phases. If you want, I can make copies of the map after the meeting and make sure you guys got those as well if you're interested. So, that's all I have.
Me, I attended the annual meeting of the Pac Mountain Workforce Board. Because of this position, I am the county's representative to the Pac Mountain Board. And other than that, I've kept a low profile the last couple of weeks. So that's about it. Anything else?
I don't have any committee report. There's a .09 committee meeting coming up. I'll report on that at the next meeting. I appreciate your sharing the annexation information. It's annexation is a very complicated issue, and it's more complicated because of the current moratorium and things going on between the port and the city, and that makes it more complicated, motives and impacts and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Okay. Nothing else? Meeting is adjourned. 4:01. Thank you.